Today's video is about how to build a retaining wall in a sand dune. I'm Mike Stokes and this is Lush Planet Design Build. Here's the retaining wall that we built in a sand dune. You can't really tell that it's a sand dune because of all the vegetation, but everything that you see here is sand. All the houses around here are built on giant sand dunes. Out here on the Sonoma coast. So I'm just going to go through all of the elements of the retaining wall. So the first thing that you see is we gave, with this pressure treated wood, we gave it an extra coat of Henry's emulsifying tar on the base, which is going to keep it from rotting. And then we went up 4 inches from the base, approximately 4 inches, and then we also pile the piers up a few inches off the ground if we can. This one's got the best. A few of them aren't quite that tall. And that way, so when the water comes down, it doesn't pool on this. And then we also try to slope the concrete down so that it doesn't pool right here. If you've ever looked at a retaining wall, they always are rotted right here, in this zone right here, all the way around the base. So we do everything we can to keep the water away from that and to put an extra layer of treatment. So this should last a super long time. Just use your standard red pressure treated wood, and then, so I don't have a picture of it, but you can imagine, if you can imagine these holes. So we used sonotubes. Let's go back to this one. So we used these sonotubes, right? And when we were digging out the sand, this sand right here just kept falling back in the hole. So we'd push the sonotube down, dig out a little bit more sand, push the sonotube down, dig it out a little bit of sand, and then we actually used a shop vac and would suck out the shop vac, push the sonotube down, shut out the clean it out some more, push the sonotube a little bit more down, clean it out some more, push it a little bit more down. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but really the best way that we could think to doing it. So I'm not going to go too much into more detail about this, but if you look back here, you'll see my Deadman technique. It's kind of buried. You can watch the other video, how to make a retaining wall not lean, and you can see that how this is built. So basically what's happening is underneath here there's a big piece of wood, like a 2x12, that runs along the length of this, so that if this tries to go like this, it's got to pull on this anchor, this triangle anchor, and it's got to lift up all the dirt in order to lean. So since we're in a sand barrier and there's not a lot of something's holding it like this, what we're using is the weight of the sand itself to hold the retaining wall back so that it doesn't lean out. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. I'll show you one little cool thing that we did. We had to sister on these 4x6s because we rebuilt the railing and the deck platform as well. So we had to rebuild this whole stairs and deck platform. In order to do that, we had to tie into these new posts that were here that we put in. We didn't know beforehand that we were going to run it up. So if you see, we did the sister here, and if you see these angles here, they're going down at a 45. That's really a great design and they're also treated with wood preservative and emulsifying tar. But then if water ever gets in here, it's going to go out like that. So if it was flat, it would tend to pool and rot a little bit faster. So this is a nice little design too. If you have to sister on a piece of wood and it's outside and exposed, you make it so that the water moves with your joints. Anywhere you can, let's say you're building a retaining wall and you're in a not very secure position, anywhere where you can add angles, you're going to create more shear. So it's a good idea, if you can, to create more angles in your retaining wall. So that's about it. Another retaining wall build. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe below.